Good morning. It's Monday, February 17th, President's Day. Welcome to the morning show on Cecil TV. I'm Rob Churnside. Let's get right to the weather. Today will be mostly cloudy, then gradually becoming sunny with a high near 38. Breezy with a west wind around 23 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 43 miles per hour. Tonight, expect mostly clear skies with a low around 18. West wind 11 to 14 miles per hour with gusts as high as 26 miles per hour. I know my pine trees were just swinging in the wind last night, so I guess we're going to see that again. And on tomorrow, Tuesday, it'll be sunny with a high near 32. Northwest winds 13 to 16 miles per hour with gusts as high as 28 miles per hour. Now, here are some events coming up in Cecil County for the next few days. This weekend, saddle up for a rootin' tootin' good time as Rodgers and Hammerstein's classic musical, Oklahoma, rides into the Milburn Stone Theater stage. That's Milburn Stone Theater in Northeast at the college campus. Set against the background of the American frontier, this beloved tale spins the story of love, rivalry, and the pioneering spirit that shaped a nation. Check milburnstone.com for times, and I think you can get tickets online like that too. Okay, join Community Connecting Us on Saturday, March 8th at 6 p.m. for a special documentary viewing the blackboards. It's called Blackboards and Barriers, a journey through the colored schools of Cecil County, directed and filmed by Joseph Piner. I think we may be seeing Joseph Piner on Cecil TV coming up pretty soon. This powerful film screening explores the history of segregated education in Cecil County, including Freeman Hall in Port Deposit, where Black Port Deposit students once attended primary school before continuing their secondary education in Elkton. Now for the news. Maryland Labor Secretary Portia Wu addressed concerns regarding the Trump administration's downsizing of the federal workforce. She encouraged affected workers, including federal employees and contractors, to visit the Maryland Department of Labor's website for resources on unemployment benefits and reemployment support. Okay. It further notes that Wu noted that there hasn't been a surge in unemployment claims yet. Some federal contractors have started applying, though. Maryland's economy remains strong, with job opportunities at the state and local levels. The state is also hiring additional staff to assist with unemployment claims, drawing from past experience, such as aiding the workers affected by the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse, which wasn't really that long ago. Federal contracts significantly impact Maryland's economy with $11 billion, with a B, that's $11 billion spent in Montgomery County in 2023. Montgomery County Executive Mark Elrich warned that the economic consequences of federal job cuts would extend beyond direct layoffs and affect families and the broader state economy. So we'll see about all that. But now, and only now, on a happier note, coming to the Elkton Music Hall this Saturday is the Slambovian Circus of Dreams. This highly regarded band features an eclectic mix of American psychedelia, British folk, and I'm sure more they're going to tell us about it, because right here in the studio right now with us are Tink Lloyd and Josiah. Welcome to the morning show, guys.
Good morning.
Hey,
Good morning,
how you doing?
Good. I got to know, where is Slabovia anyway?
It moves around. It's
Slambovia.
kind of like Brigadoon. Right now it's in the Hudson Highlands, just above.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how would you describe your music?
You know, I mean, we just steal from everything we love. It's kind of a combination. It has a 60s feel to it, you know, like Sgt. Pepperish, psychedelia, era. Little Dylan mixed in there. You know, it's and kind of in Pink Floyd's tent a little bit, you know. We do a lot of projection these days, you know, and so it's a fun show. It's a fun show.
Yeah, that sounds like I'm thinking about coming up there and maybe doing a little filming for Cecil TV for
the
next time you come back.
This particular band we have on the road is really a fun band. They just toured the UK with us, and they're really a fun band to come see. Really, it'll be great.
Well, I'll tell you what. It's a later question. I'm not going to ask you now. Tell us about the band's lineup.
Yeah, we've got in this particular band, it's a drummer, keyboard, bass player, and then the three of us that are out front have been together for many years. Lead guitar player, I keep trying not to let myself say badass. You can't say that, right?
Yes, you can.
But anyway, really great guitar player. And then Tink and I'm kind of the poser, singer, songwriter in front. And Tink plays about 20 different instruments: accordion, cello, theremin. So awesome. It's a fun show. It's a pretty trippy show. Yeah.
Theremin, isn't that what they use for the Doctor Who theme?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah, I know what that is. Now you guys are you. How did you get your name of the Slambovian Circus of Dreams?
We used to have a real short name, and we were a band that a lot of the majors wanted to sign in New York City, and we didn't want to sign, so we moved upstate and we created a band called Gandalf Murphy and the Slambovian Circus of Dreams to try to get people to not bother us, and it worked pretty good. So we've been touring the band for about 30 years, I think, and wow, with that. We shortened the name a little bit.
Yeah, actually, this is the 25th anniversary of our debut album, A Good Thief Tips His Hat. And
I remember hearing that.
Yeah, we're going to be playing songs from that album. And then also, recently there was the Dylan movie, and we're like, he grew up on Dylan. He thought he was Dylan when he was younger. So we'll be throwing in a little bit of Dylan for people that want a little more Dylan, because that's kind of on our radar. And then some things from our next album we just started recording. So that's what's up.
I'll tell you what, with all those influences, all the stuff you're putting down, I mean, I looked at that. I printed out some of the stuff from your website. It says the best band since the Beatles. That's kind of a cool thing that somebody say about you.
That's very cool to have somebody say about you. Yeah.
Yeah, and that guy Jim Pons, he's like this guy we ran into in Florida in a coffee house.
He was the Turtles bass player, and then he worked with John Lennon
and Frank Zappa. He's like a real classic rock dude, and he just and it was just the trio playing, but he went, whoa.
He was a bass player for that Smoke on the Water song. He was he was at that concert when the theater burnt down. So he's like, so for him to say that, and he told the Turtles and all these 60s bands
that we're like great.
We're the best band since the Beatles. So we went to some like one of those 60 reunion things, big concert things with about 12 bands. And they treated us like we were royalty because Ponzi, who's usually very negative about things, liked our band. So that was very helpful.
So we got the stamp of approval from Jim Pons, yeah. So that's just fun. That's fun stuff. Those guys, that stuff. We tap into that time period musically a bit but we're kind of like musical time travelers. We kind of reference that, but we're really also in the moment. So it's kind of like that,
Pretty
All you need is a TARDIS. All you need is a TARDIS like Doctor Who then.
Yeah, right. We're kind of like the Doctor Who of
So do you have a particular message or philosophy other than just a good music and good times that you want to put down?
Well, I think, we're just into like people staying open to each other instead of like dogmatizing what they believe and thinking they're right. It doesn't do anything but cause problems, I think. I think it's good to keep open and try to, we're trying to always drive up the middle and figure if there's a better way.
Amen. We need more of that.
Yeah, too much fighting. I mean, fighting's a good thing. I grew up in a fighting neighborhood in Philly, but we always sat down at the table and argued things out and, learn from each other. I think we got to do that a little bit. So,
yeah, you got to stay close, and then that creates friction.
Yeah.
But then it creates heat, and then hopefully love. So, you just got to stay in close enough to break through to the love.
Yeah, I grew up. My dad was an Italian, where the Irish hated the Italians, and my grandfather moved into the Irish neighborhood. So there was always a lot of conflict between my family and the neighborhood we lived in. But, the leader of the Irish gang became my godfather. So I've been trying to learn from my father how to make that happen. And my father and my grandfather were both players. So we try to use music.
Yeah. So like he pulled out the guitar and that seemed to just make everything just kind of pull together and melt and become a neighborhood instead of different factions.
Yeah. Music's the magic, man. You know?
Yeah, it is. And we're going to see some magic Saturday night, correct?
Yeah.
At Elkton Music Hall.
Yeah, splendid time is guaranteed for all. If they come, we'll give you a great time. So come on out.
I have one more question on my list, and I think I know the answer. What should people expect at the Slambovian Circus of Dreams performance? I know I'm going to be surprised.
Yeah, expect it to not have a ceiling on it, man. Just come ready, and we'll fly around together and go to different realms. It'll be really fun. It'll be so cool.
Amen.
All right.
Saturday night, and folks, you can get tickets through Elkton Music Hall, probably elktonmusichall.com, but everybody knows how to do all that. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
see you Saturday.
This was fun. See you soon, man.
All right. We have one more interview coming up, so stay tuned. We have James Maddock, who happens to know the folks from the Slambovian Circus of Dreams. What a small world it is. They were talking on camera on Microsoft just as we're in here. I'm in my Mediterranean villa, so it's great to be able to talk to people down here in Elkton and parts unknown. James Maddock. James, when Doug pushes the button, come on down.
Hello?
Hey, back to TV land again. That's great.
How are you?
Good. Did you get a chance to see the interview with your folks, your friends from the Slambovian Circus of Dreams?
I sure did.
Yeah, and they know you and you know them. How did you guys meet?
I guess we just come across each other on the circuit at various places that I've been and I've seen them play. I think I saw them at some folk kind of convention a few years ago. And they really are fabulous. I mean, they're really incredible band, and I definitely recommend people go and check them out because they can deliver the goods.
Well, I think about coming up, and I'm thinking about coming up Thursday to Elkton Music Hall to your show too, right?
Okay, yeah, I'm playing with where am I? Kind of in the picture there. I'm playing with Jeffrey Gaines on Thursday night, and it's just me on my own. I don't have a band of anybody really. It's just me on the guitar, as does Jeffrey as well, I suppose. But yeah, we'll be at Elkton on Thursday night
at Elkton Music Hall.
Yes, sir.
Once again, get tickets online, elktonmusichall.com. Now, this little write-up here describes your music as Americana, but you're from London, England.
Yeah, I never really understood that label. I guess anybody who plays the guitar and sings a few songs gets called Americana nowadays. I don't really think it means anything. It doesn't mean anything to me. I grew up listening to the Beatles and the Stones, and I loved John Martin and Paul Brady and people like that. Oh, but I also obviously loved Neil Young and Dylan and those songwriters from the West Coast in the 70s. Sure. But I don't really know what Americana means. So I just play my songs on the guitar, on the acoustic guitar, and I write on the guitar, and I guess that makes me Americana. I think it's a very broad umbrella, whatever Americana is.
Yeah, right. I've heard it bandied about all kinds of different places, about all kinds of different people, but somebody told me, and I hope it's not true in your case, that you play really cool songs, but you don't make any money. I hope that's not the case.
Who said that? It's pretty true.
Somebody who they said was Americana. We were just, hanging out, playing some music, and this is what the guy told me.
Yeah, well, that's the definition of Americana.
I brought him a beer.
I like that. That certainly applies to me.
And probably 99% of us out there playing music. I write songs myself, and I love it. The process. How do you do it yourself? How do you write your songs?
It's funny you say that because I'm actually started to teach it. I'm starting teaching a course around here. I live in Asbury Park, at Bradley Beach, but I'm going to do this songwriting class. I'm teaching people how to write songs. Starting in the middle of March, so I'm starting to put some thought into that, how I go about teaching, and that's making me think about what it is to write songs and how you go about it. And it's really I think it's a very simple thing to write a song. To be honest, you have to stick to a few certain rules, and then just keep going and be very, edit your own thoughts viciously. But, have a verse, have a title, and then play something, keep playing till you come up with something that you like the sound of. And then keep trying and keep trying. And that's all I do. I sit on this desk, here I am, and I have my pen and I have my guitar, and I just mess around on the guitar until I find something that I like. And, it can take hours. I can sit here all day and come up with nothing, or I can sit here for 2 minutes and suddenly something pops out, and it's something that I like. So it's very, it's just a question of it's in the doing, you just do it.
Yeah, I love the picture that I see where you're at that little table scribbling away with your guitar. And
right, that's right.
Capturing your thoughts is a big part of it too, isn't it?
That's the work, you sit around and you put some time into it, and a lot of it is editing and deciding what is a good idea and what isn't a good idea. Tell your story, have a thought, have a title, have a purpose for the song, and have a feeling for the song. What's the feeling in the song? And try to channel and focus in on that feeling and try to expand on it and express it in ways that are at the same time personal but also universal. I don't know, it's a very personal journey writing a song.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And to make it universal is this like the Daily Double, I
mean, yeah, you got to make it universal, but you also got to make it not too cliched. There's a bunch of things that go on. You've got to bring your experience and skill to bear when you're writing as you do it, and it's something that comes with time, I suppose. Although some people they come out of the box and they can write great songs right from the get-go. Me, I was writing songs for 15, 20 years before I wrote what I think is a decent song. But I kept writing them, but I don't think I really got it together till I was in my early 30s. But that's just me.
Well, that's great. And you're performing with your friend Jeffrey Gaines in Elkton Music Hall Thursday. You live in Ashton Park. Where's Ashton Park?
Asbury Park.
Oh, Asbury Park. My bad.
Yeah. Well, I actually live in Bradley Beach, which is near Asbury Park. I lived in Brooklyn. I lived in New York for like 20 years, but it got too expensive. I couldn't afford the rent. The rent went up $1,000 a month, and I could not get an apartment anywhere in New York to live. It's just got ridiculously expensive, and I had to live somewhere. And I have some friends down here in Asbury Park, and I'm right by the beach, and I decided to come out here and live in Bradley Beach. Nothing
wrong with living at the beach.
Right? No, it's beautiful. I bought a car. It's unbelievable. It's a new me.
How about that? Now, you're playing with your friend Jeffrey, and it's more or less just a duo gig. But when you play solo, or in a small little duo, how does that affect your connection with the audience?
Well, you have a lot of space to work with. You have a lot of intimacy. You can control the dynamic really, really strongly, and you can draw people in. You can sing real quiet. You can sing loud, and you can use the difference between the loud and the quiet. You can use the space in the room, and you can draw people in. And as opposed to a band where everything's a little bit preordained and it's a different thing.
Right.
Sure. And I do a lot of both. I play a lot of gigs on my own and do a lot of gigs with the band. But I do, if the PA sounding good, I've got some nice instruments around me. Just sing nice and quiet, make it intimate, and don't try and beat people over the head with your tunes and your singing. And tell your truth. Just try and connect to the song and connect to the people, and be honest as you sing your song, as you tell your story. Feel the story, and as you're telling it, connect to it internally, and hopefully that comes over when people, listening.
I'm sure it will. Thursday night after the Elkton show, what's next for James Maddock?
Well, I've got a bunch of gigs. I've got a solo acoustic album coming out, which I've never done before, coming out on vinyl. I've got a new studio album I'm in the middle of recording. I'm going to Europe in the end of June. I'm going to tour the Netherlands and Germany and the UK, and then I go to Italy in August. So I've got, quite a lot of things cooking in the future. I'm working on my new record. Just trying to keep busy, just trying to book gigs all around the New York area and just trying to earn a living.
Well, that sounds great. And I'm sure you're going to break out of that Americana mode and be one of those Americana guys that makes a whole boatload of money.
Oh, yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, James, we'll see you Thursday night.
All the best.
At Elkton Music Hall. And folks out there in TV land, if you haven't been to Elkton Music Hall, they'd get the caliber of musicians that you normally don't see around here coming down to our little town of Elkton. So go out and support Elkton Music Hall. Check out some fine acts, and maybe I'll see you up there Thursday or Saturday.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
And ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys in TV land, if you think programs like this are of value, you need to consider becoming a donor to Cecil Public Media. Please like us on Facebook and subscribe to Cecil TV on our YouTube channel. Have a great day.